Twitter has labeled NPR as state-affiliated media in a move that NPR CEO John Lansing calls unacceptable. Lansing stated, "We were disturbed to see last night that Twitter has labeled NPR as state-affiliated media, a description that, per Twitter's own guidelines, does not apply to NPR." And he was correct. As late as Tuesday night, NPR was explicitly labeled in Twitter guidelines as an organization that would not be labeled as state-affiliated media. However, on Wednesday, as outcry began to grow around this false classification, people noticed that Twitter had quietly removed NPR from that policy documentation. According to the policy, state-affiliated media is defined as outlets where the state exercises control over editorial content through financial resources, direct or indirect political pressures, and/or control over production and distribution. NPR is an independent nonprofit media outlet, and while they do receive funding from the federal government, whether a Republican or Democrat is in office, that amount makes up less than 1% of the total funding for the organization. Twitter's former head of trust and safety criticized the move. He said in a statement that Twitter's decision, quote, to label NPR as a state media outlet flies in the face of years of research, all evidence that NPR's funding and governance, and Twitter's own policies and principles. When White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre was asked for comment, she defended NPR's reputation for independence, stating, "There is no doubt of the independence of NPR journalists. If you have ever been on the receiving end of their questions, you know this." It's a very bizarre sort of political move for Elon Musk to label them as state-affiliated media and thus essentially take away their credibility as an independent news source. There should be some libel or slander rules that go into effect here, but we'll have to see what happens.